I'm Elisa Mortensen, and this is Undo Redo. Let's take a look at all the things that happen in life that we would like to undo and have a chance to redo. Hello, my friends. I want to tell you about an exciting new program I have. It's called Undo Redo. How do you know it's for you? It's for you if you find yourself doing everything for everyone else and you need a break before you break. It's for you if you are a caregiver for a family member or if you're a people pleaser who just can't say no or you need help making boundaries. If you've tried to get unstuck before, this is for you because maybe you didn't know how or where to start until now. Visit lifecoachelisa.com to find the sign up and get in touch with me. I can answer any of your questions that you may have. Make sure you get in within the month of December of 2023 for the 50% off because I will be working kind of all the kinks and bugs out of the program. And next time I offer this program, it will be at the full 100%. So if you want to get in at 50%, get in touch with me during the month of December of 2023 for the January 2024 start of this program. All right. You can also use my social media platforms, Life Coach Elisa on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, now let's talk about time because it's the most valuable asset we as humans have. We all get the same amount in a day. When you define time, it's the indefinite, continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as one whole. That was a lot of words, right? But it's the indefinite continued progress of existence and events from the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. That's what time is. In the Life Coach School, through my training, it teaches that time will never change, but the way you think about it can change the way that you experience it, which I love so much, and it's so powerful, and it's made a huge difference in my life. All of us live sort of unconsciously, and we have yet to embrace how deliberate life could be with our use of time. So if you're like I was, it's like around 11 a.m., you kind of wonder where the morning went. Get the kids off to school, and then you're like, oh my heck, it's 11 o'clock already. What have I been doing? Or around 2 p.m., you just kind of realize, like, I don't even know where the whole day has gone. Like, oh my gosh, the day's over. It's 2 p.m. The rest of my day belongs to everybody else, and I don't even know what I did with my day. I got my workout clothes on, planned on working out. I'm still in my workout clothes, and now there's just no time. It's like we all go to bed with like these plans in our head, like tomorrow I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to really get up and really get after it, and then, but it doesn't happen. Here are some questions to kind of get your mind open to where this episode is kind of going as it's in regards to time. Okay. How did you use your time in this last 24 hours? From right now today to yesterday at the exact same time. Think about it. How did you use your time? Really take a minute to think about this. Include your driving, your eating, your sleeping, your talking, your entertainment through, like, what did you entertain yourself with? Food. That's my go-to. Phones, streaming content. It's best when you get really super detailed. If you really want to see where your time goes, if time management is really an issue for you, go grab a piece of paper or turn this podcast off until later or listen to it and go back to it and grab a piece of paper and just start writing all of it down and pause. Because if you can get super detailed with this, you can actually see your mind and see what you're thinking and see what's happening in your life. And then you have leverage over to change it, right? I've taught this all along in Undo Redo. What do you think about how you spent your time in the last 24 hours? So there's what you did, all right? Take a minute to think about what you actually did, what somebody on a video camera would watch you doing, like reality show, reality series starring you. And now you think about, what is your thought about that? Now you decide what your thought about that is. What is your thought about how you spent your time? My thoughts are typically like, where did the time go? Sometimes I'm like, well, I could have done more and I didn't. Or I never get as much done as I wanted. What is your thought about how you use your time in the last 24 hours? And if it's a question, answer that question. My thought usually is, oh, where did the time go? So instead of just making it a question out into oblivion, we answer when our thoughts are questions. And my answer is, well, time, it didn't wait for me, that's for sure. Which gives me my power back. Instead of just like, oh, the time went and I lost it and I have no idea. It's like, well, it didn't wait for me, meaning I was the one. It helps you step into more of a conscious, deliberate, and decided, more intentional way of thinking with your time. Because we know what you would do with your time if you were told you had one more week to live. You most likely would go make things happen. And you would choose the things that were most important to you, what you value most. And it would be on purpose instead of just doing life mindlessly, thinking you have all the time in the world. What would you see if you put your very last week that you were living on this earth, if you knew, up against this last week that you actually lived in your life? Think about the things you did all this last week. If you put that last week up against this next week that would be your last week on earth, what would you see? If you have a piece of paper, if you stopped and paused this, you better be writing some stuff. This is where it really comes up. You go to a funeral, everybody at a funeral decides to be different. They're going to make things more important in their life. And then it kind of loses its shiny luster and gets lost in the passing of the days. Truth is, as humans, we forget. So we need to remind ourselves. So this is a perfect reminder right now. It's not wasted time if you're enjoying wasting it. That makes us all laugh, because if we're wasting time and we're enjoying wasting it, then it's not a waste. But what is your main thought about time? Is your main thought about it that there isn't enough of it? Is your main thought about it like, just get it over with? When is this torture going to be over? Can't we just all go back home and sit? Oh, when will this be over? When is this done? I cannot wait to just to retire. Then you can relax, to get to your next point, next phase in life, and win the lottery, and then you'll be. Is it always just kind of out there in oblivion? Because you'll manage your time right now, each day you live, by how you view it. So it's really important to know kind of what is your main thought about time. When you think about time, are you just passing it by? Are you really embracing it? Do you have thoughts of it could it just today be over sooner so I can just go to bed? Or is it, oh, there's not enough, I have so much to do, could I just get another 10 hours in my day? Because that is how you'll see somebody living their day, is by how they view their time. And next question, what is your time here for? Here is in here on this earth as a human. What are you using your time here for? What is the purpose of your time? To what end could time serve you if it just keeps coming? Answer these out loud. Type it in the comments. I love hearing back from you guys. And don't edit or overthink your answer. Your first answer is good enough. Don't try to find the right answer or anything. Just list your overall sentence for what you think time is. Because you really want to see what you're actually thinking. And it's for your own awareness. It's for knowing where you're at right now. How we spend our time is determined by how we think. It's determined by what we believe about time. It reflects through our actions. You'll see it. You'll see it if you observe someone or yourself, what you do or what you don't do with your time. It will reflect what you believe about time and how you're thinking about it. And how do we know this is true? Well, we know it's true because what makes time go by fast for you sometimes? What are the times that go by most quickly for you? And then what are those times that go by the most slow for you? There's a big difference. Ask anyone, what day of your life went by the fastest and what moment in time slowed down for you? There's no doubt some hours and some moments feel very different than others. It's because of our minds. So if that's the case, then we can literally create time to work for us. How does time cost? You hear about people, how does it cost us? How is it wasted, lost, or spent? You hear people be like, oh, that cost me so much time. Or, oh, I just wasted so much time. Oh, do you know how much time I lost on that? Or, I just spent so much time doing that. The same amount of time passes by for both people. One person completes a dozen things. The other person can't even bring themselves to get going on the first thing on their list. Here's a list of some time wasters. Pay attention for this part because I'm going to kind of lay it all out for you. And I'm lucky for all the training and the life coach school gave me because this has really set into my head. They're all fabricated in our mind with our own unnecessary drama. Ready for this? They're all optional. Worrying, people pleasing, being indecisive, judging others, comparison, regretting, overwhelm, confusion, and the last one is buffering. Buffering is defined as any activity you go do that avoids the important thing or the more important thing that you told yourself you would do. But you dread doing it, so you find something else that kind of, oh, this is necessary, but it's not truly the most necessary thing. You're avoiding it. That's what buffering is. Some examples of buffering are over gossiping on the phone, just spinning stories over and over streaming shows, over social media. Basically, we call this overing, if there was a language for it, overing in any way, overeating, oversleeping, anything done in excess in order to avoid something that would be more necessary. You'll notice you're trying to avoid your own life instead of going out and living it. Like, go out and live it all, the good, the bad. It's all necessary. And it's all for us to face daily to have this experience that we're meant to have and this progression and evolvement. So let's start with worry. Worry pretends to be necessary, but produces nothing of value. Let's do buffering. Buffering escapes emotion because it takes us out of our present discomfort. And remember, buffering is going and doing something else that seems important that's really not as important as what you should be doing, what you told yourself you would be doing. We don't really tell ourselves that we should be doing something different. We're just notice we're not doing the thing that's most important to us right now, and we're buffering. So we're going to stop buffering and go do the important thing. It's just a redirection, not a should be doing. People pleasing is you being in their head and not in your own. There's no way anybody gets anything done by being in somebody else's head all the time. It's trying to control other people, and that can't happen. So get out of their heads. Let's talk about indecision. Indecision allows you to have and do nothing, taking no action by default because you're not deciding. Just tell yourself, I don't know, and spend the rest of the day and I don't know. I don't know. Spend a month in it, spend a year in it, and get nothing done. Judging and comparing. It feels important because you're analyzing things. It's super wasteful because you're just looking for the right way when the right way doesn't exist. Wasteful. Regretting. Regretting uses your mistakes to spin in your mind and take away from what you have in front of you right now. Regrets, past, turning and looking backwards all the time slows you down. It takes away what you have in front of you at that moment. Holding on to grudges, things like that. And then you use the grudge to spin the gossip. Now we're wasting time double. Overwhelm is one. Overwhelm keeps us stuck doing nothing because we can't take it all on. Overwhelm is taking on, in one moment, everything that needs to be done, and it shuts you down. It's too big. The brain can't make any sense of it, and it just shuts you down. So overwhelm keeps us stuck and wastes time. There's nothing we can do about all of it at once. It doesn't solve for anything. It doesn't break it down into little pieces. It just keeps us in inaction. Okay, finally, do you want to know how to create more time for yourself? Here we are. I am amazed at how many things I can do in such a short amount of time. I've been able to do significantly more in my day and in my life now than I could have ever done even 5 years ago, or in my late 20s when I had all the energy in the world. I have more free time now, and I enjoy my free time so much more. Here's a quote from Brigham Young. He says, "Time is all the capital stock there is on earth. If properly used, it brings that which will add to your comfort, convenience, and satisfaction. Let us consider this and no longer be with arms folded, wasting time." I love that. I love that he said that. So here it is. It was in my training and certifications that I learned to make decisions quickly. This is how we save time. This is how we create time for ourselves. You make decisions quickly. And it's okay if it's a wrong decision. It doesn't have to be the right decision. It's just a decision because it keeps momentum moving forward. You redirect it if you need. You'll get more information once you start, and then you just redirect it if you need. More happens by doing something about it than happens talking about it. So be a doer. Less talking, more doing. The next one, make a plan. Put it in your calendar. And when it's on your calendar, you do it. You can break it down into, like, instead of just workout, say you have workout at 9 a.m. tomorrow. How about at 8:50, you go get your workout clothes on? Yeah, 8:55, you put your hair up. 8:57, you put your shoes on. 9 a.m., you press play on your streaming. Or, if you have to get ready at 8:35 to get in the car at 8:50 to drive to the gym, you make a plan and you stick to that plan minute per minute in small little bite-sized chunks. Okay, making a plan saves you time. The next one is constrain. Constrain yourself to stick to it. Put it on your calendar, and if it's on there and you knew you were going to do it at that time, you just get up and go. Just like brushing your teeth before bed, you don't make any drama about it, right? You just constrain, that self-constraint. You get more in your day and in your life with making yourself do stuff even when you don't feel like it. You must be okay with failing. You just have to be okay with failing. It saves you so much time. Okay, instead of sitting around boohooing about it for a week and having a pity party for too long, you're just like, okay, well, that was a fail. And you just tweak some things and you keep going. That way you don't lose your momentum. And all these skills, this is why I have more time in my life. This is why I get so much done. This is why I am able to be and do so many things, so many more things than I was ever capable of. And I didn't even realize that when I was younger, my mind was stopping me. Saying no more often. Say no if it doesn't help with the progression of where you want to get to in life right now. Another thing, not needing other people to love you, to agree with you, not allowing anybody else to think they know what you should be doing. Get out of their heads. The next thing, I know that I have everything I need inside me to do what is next in my life. There's nothing outside of me that I can find or learn or look up that's going to do it for me. I know I have everything inside me. So I say a prayer and I go. I just do it. This way of thinking helps you let go of all the drama that we spin. It creeps in so easy. This way of thinking blames no one. It takes full ownership of what we are in control of and keeps us away from focusing on the things we can't control. If you find yourself just answering the phone because it rings when you're in the middle of accomplishing something that was on your calendar, no, you don't have to answer it. You can check, see who it is just to make sure, but you don't have to answer it. You can question your obligations. The things that come up in your life, question if that's really what you want to have be part of your life at this time. Don't go to everything you're invited to. Sometimes you can be invited to a million things. You don't have to go to all of them. Next one, do not people please at your own expense. Okay, so stay out of people's heads. Do not do things for other people at your own expense. If you're avoiding the hard things in life, that could come at your own expense as well, because that is where growth happens. I know things are hard sometimes, and we just label it as hard. Really, it's never as hard as we think it is. And especially don't put yourself at the cost being so big for you. Just don't avoid the hard things because it will be at your own expense. That's where the growth happens. So figure out how you need to redo seeing time. How do you view time in your life? How do you need to redo that? If there are people who have been told that they will live a shorter time than they thought they had, you'll see them step up. You'll see them make decisions based on what they value most, and you'll see them go after a good portion of their life for the time that they do believe they have. And decision means to cut away everything but what matters most. So go make some decisions. Redo how you see your days, redo how you're using your time, and make it mean something. What do you no longer want to waste your time on anymore? And what do you want to use your time here in life for? Stephen R. Covey says, we don't prioritize our schedule, we schedule our priorities. That's all I have for you today. If you thought of anybody while you're listening to this, you definitely share it with them, because that's how the heavens reach us. And I will see you next week.